Welcome back to Three's In. Bobo here. So now I'm going to tell you about a friend of mine, Jose. When we were flying together in the squadron, he was always Jose and I was Jose B. At any rate, Jose and his wife didn't have any kids, and they decided after Joe got out of the Air Force, they might want to look into adopting a child. So they went through the initial stages of the adoption, and everything was going fine. And they went in for the initial interview together. And as they were walking in for the initial interview, Joe's wife stopped as they were walking up to the building. She turned and looked at Joe and she says, "Don't you dare screw this up." And Joe was like, "Oh no, wouldn't do that." And there was good reason for that because Joe and I were always cutting up, and we were serious when we got in the airplane. But beyond that, who knows? There were no guarantees. Anyway, she says to Joe, "Don't you dare screw this up." Okay, so they go in, went through the interview, and Joe played it real straight. I mean, he was not about to incur the wrath, if you understand. So they pass that with flying colors, and they get invited for back for a second set of interviews. Now, the first one was together as a couple, and the next interviews were individual interviews. So his wife goes into one setting, and Joe goes into the other. And when he goes in, he's being interviewed by this young lady who's a little bit nervous. She's got to follow the script of questions, if you will, and she's relatively young and kind of inexperienced at it. So, and Joe picks up on this. At any rate, Joe's sitting there and he's kind of glancing down the questionnaire, and as he shared the story to me, he says, "You remember how when we used to grade students, we would come down the grade sheet and we get to an item that we knew we were going to probably blow them up on, and we kind of skip over that one and complete the rest of the grade sheet and then come back to it." That was one technique for grading that some guys employed. So Joe sees her skip by this one question, and big mistake, the wheels start turning. So she goes through the questionnaire and everything's going straight forward, and then she comes back to that question and she says, "Joe," she says, "it might be a little uncomfortable, but I have to ask this." She says, "What is your sex life like?" And Joe says, "Oh, it is fantastic." And he leans forward, pulls out his wallet. He says, "Would you like to see the pictures?" And at that time, she lost it. "Would you like to see the pictures?" Anyway, he got it cleaned up and got out of there okay, and everything worked out because they were able to adopt. And he did not say a word of that to his wife for like 7 or 8 years. He didn't dare. He figured he was going to let the statute of limitations go by, but that's just, God bless him. Still is funny. "Would you like to see the pictures?" You can just imagine. At any rate, thanks for stopping in my mind this morning, Joey. This is Bobo, Base Gear. Stop.